ironically, found something that comes from Thich Nhat Hanh. And Thich Nhat Hanh in the meditation world is an icon, epic, few words that come to mind. And his passing recently was very sad in the meditation and yoga community. So honoring Thich Nhat Hanh today and his wise words, today's mantra. Thich Nhat Hanh says, most people are afraid of suffering, but suffering is a kind of mud to help the lotus flower of happiness grow. There can be no lotus flower without the mud. And if you really think about that and how that may apply to something you're currently going through, or you just got out of, or just a situation that has really meant as like almost a defining moment in your life, if you will. And we often have to go through the muddy waters in order to get to the growth, to learn the lesson, to get to the silver lining, whatever words feel most appropriate for your life and your moment that is coming to mind. And for me, I know it can be even moments, right? So let me just go over that one more time. And I hope it really resonates with you as well on your mat today in today's practice. Most people are afraid of suffering, but suffering is a kind of mud to help the lotus flower of happiness grow. There can be no lotus flower without the mud. And I even think about that in our own physical bodies. When we first start a class, we get on the mat. Oh, it might be a little stiff, especially those of us practicing in the earlier morning hours. And as you get into the practice, as you get moving, I know the same for me is true in a long run, you settle in, right? So I'd like you to do that today. So just start easy and take it as it comes. Don't forget your hydration, go to water or whatever you're drinking, and don't forget your breath and our foundation building blocks, such as our cork or foam yoga blocks that are just behind me over here, or a bolster or a folded up beach towel or blanket. So grab your props, my friends. Let's get started on the mat. We are going to start today on our backs. So let's start today with some energy, with a smile, my favorite posture. If you've been practicing with me for a while, you know that that is on our backs. So sometimes as we get to our yoga mat on any given day, just getting onto your back, woo, right? It's a workout. So once you're there, once you're settled, just let's start with a nice, easy breath. Just close the eyes, let the toes spread apart. And don't be shy, take up some space on your mat. And just starting to notice the breath. As you breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, we'll get right into the Ujjayi breath, the victorious breath, as it is often referred to, another foundation of our yoga practice, just enabling prana to come into all edges of the body, especially the parts of the physical body that may feel ailing or have been injured in the past, or just perhaps today, showing up on your mat might be a little tense, a little tight. And I invite you to slow down the breath. Even if you're already at a slow pace, slow it down even just the slightest 1%. And as we set our intention for today's practice, one of ease, one that nourishes, one that restores, and one that centers us in this present moment. Long breath in, deep breath out. Continue to invite yourself back to the moment, this present moment, this breath. And you'll notice sometimes when we not only slow down our bodies, but slow down the breath, it just promotes a calming sensation, a quieting of the mind, and a state that prepares us for our moving meditation to come. And despite what goes on around us, in the world, in our communities, on our streets, we always can come back to the breath. To just start to take a moment and hear your breath. As you hear the inhale, feel the quality of the breath. And even if the breath is shallow, even if it's still at this point challenging to slow it down, rather than trying to change it, just allowing, just accepting the what is. And just notice what it feels like to be in your body with this breath. Feel the softening around the jaw, the muscles around the eyes, a smoothing of the skin on the forehead. Good, and then go ahead and exhale all the air out of the body, emptying the lungs completely. And as you inhale, blink your eyes to open. Reach your arms overhead, stretch the body long, point your toes. And as you exhale, just draw the right knee into the chest. Take your time. This is the first real movement of our yoga practice. And then slowly drifting the knee from shoulder to shoulder. And if you're like most of us, you might feel some tension or resistance in the hip, even in the knee. So again, come back to that ease of breath, that awareness. Just moving at the rhythm of your breath. And then as you exhale, draw the belly in. Take that leg over for a nice supine twist. Your right arm is going to reach long away from the body. And your inner thigh heavy to the ground. Just breathing into that stretch. Good. And then as you exhale, slowly come back to center, same side. Bring the nose to the knee on an inhale. Flex your foot here. As you exhale, relax your head, neck, and shoulders down, and just extend the heel skyward. You can hold the calf, you can hold the hamstring as you send that right heel skyward. We want to work toward a straight leg here. Just feel the stretch in the back of the leg. Nice and easy through the breath. Good. And then as you exhale, bend through the knee again, same side. Come back to that supine twist on your exhale. Right arm reaches long. Breathe through the heart space. Breathe through the low back. Good. And as you exhale, come back to center, staying on that right side. As you hug the knee into the chest, now just start some big circular motions with the right knee. The breath will guide the pace. Changing directions of the knee, so circular rotations in the opposite direction. Continuing to breathe calmly into the hip, into the knee joint. Good. And then just extend that right leg long. Inhale once again, reach your arms overhead, point the toes, extend long. This time as you exhale with ease through the nose, Bring that knee into chest. Take some time, sway the knee, shoulder to shoulder. Breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose. Long, calm breath in. Deep breath out. And as you take that exhale, supine twist. It's the same that we did on the first side. This time, left arm reaches away. Left inner thigh heavy to the earth. If you can, you'll anchor the left shoulder blade to the mat, just enjoying that stretch, eventually letting gravity take over. Nice, easy breath here. Good. And then as you exhale, come back to center. Bring the nose to the knee. Inhale. Toning through the belly. Flex your foot here. As you exhale, relax your head, neck, and shoulders back safely to the mat. Inhale, straighten the leg. So your left heel reaches skyward. Just a nice, easy movement. I'm demoing with clasped palms, just hugging the hamstring above my knee. You could also hold below your knee. Good. Exhale. Go ahead and bend through the knee. And this time, take it into that supine twist once again. You might notice a varying experience when we do sometimes repeat of the same posture, especially if it's in a short period of time. You might experience different experience in the body. That could be different sensations, varying breath. Good. Exhale, come back to center. This time, taking that left knee into those big rotations. Taking your time and sending your prana directly into the left hip. Hovering in any regions that feel tight or resistant. And then changing directions softly and calmly breathing. Breathing acceptance to the hip region of what is. And then slowly bring the right knee back in. Take your knees wide. Point and flex the feet here. And then just draw some big circles with your toes. Breathing love into the shins, the tibia, the fibia, everything working here. And make sure you change directions as you circle the ankles. And then take it into your happy baby. Holding the arches of the feet, your ankles, or even your shins. Just noticing your breath again as you start to sway side to side. Observing all four parts of the breath, the inhale, the pause, the exhale, the pause. Making those four parts for one complete breath cycle. Good, take your straddle. As you straighten the legs, your choice, you can wrap the peace fingers around the big toes, my personal favorite. You could also hold your inner calves or your inner thighs and flex your feet here. Send your heels far from the body. Send your toenails passionately toward the shins. So get a nice stretch here. Eventually coming to center. Good. And then bend through the knees, bring the knees together, hug the knees into the chest. And then as you exhale, roll to the right side. For a nice twist. Keep your left shoulder blade anchored to the mat and just extend that left arm away from your body. So we did a supine twist, and now we're just stacking the left on top of the right. So just noticing again your experience in the body, your experience in the breath. Noticing if the prana is still short or shallow, flowing with ease at this point, if it's changed. And then as you inhale, take the legs across the center. Just exhale over to the left side, right arm will reach far. Just a nice, easy way to wake up the spine, wake up our low body. Good, exhale, come back to center. Hands are gonna come behind the thighs and then just slowly rock up and back. So as you inhale, sitting up, As you exhale, coming back, just letting every vertebra come in contact with the earth and just noticing. Eventually coming up to seated, take a wide-legged stance. So you may turn sideways on your mat. Now we're still at the very beginning of our practice, friends, so don't take it too far. If you're feeling too much of a strain in the inner thigh groin region, bring those heels a little closer together as you inhale, sitting up nice and tall. Good. And as we start, you can use a block here, or you can just take the right hand to your shin or to even the inside of the shin. And really root the hand down. Start to lift the left back shoulder blade up and back. And then just gently lift the left hand up. You might even gaze to the left thumb, or stay reaching out of your shoulder girdle, or if you feel ready, gently coming over to the right side of the room. So you're reaching the left hand overhead. Good. Let's get a nice left side body stretch. Chin softly moving away from the chest. Good. Inhale, coming back up to center. Good. Now, as you stay nice and erect through the spine, inhale tall, flex your feet. Take your left hand to the right quad, and then just look over your right shoulder. Just a gentle twist here. If you're keeping your feet active, you'll feel this through the inner left groin. Keep tall in the spine. Your drishti is straight ahead rather than looking down. Good. Exhale back to center. And then let's inhale. Keep your feet nice and flexed. Right hand to left quad. Go ahead and look over your left shoulder. Good. Feel the sit bones rooting down. You might feel this in the right inner groin. Tall through the spine, tall through each vertebra, and then exhale back to center. Good. Let's take the left hand to the shin, to a block, or to the mat. On the inside, right hand is going to reach straight up. Take the back right shoulder blade, press it toward the wall behind you, reaching up, maybe taking it overhead. Now, as you reach up out of the shoulder girdle, root your right sit bone down. This is going to create a lengthening sensation through the right side body. Breathe. Good. Come back to center and relax the toes. Go ahead and windshield wiper the toes from side to side. And if you're feeling like I am today, you're going to feel this all through the foundation or all contact points on the backside of your legs, your sits bones, all the way down through the fascia on the soles of the feet. So go ahead and engage the feet again. Flex, sit tall. As you exhale this time, just hinging forward at the hips. So just slowly walk the hands out. You don't need to go far this first breath. Inhale, pull the mat toward you and lifting through the crown. As you exhale, hinge a little deeper into the hips. Your feet are still actively flexed. Now you'll find there might be a time where you reach your edge. And you'll know that because the breath wants to pause or change. Stay at your edge, even if I'm cueing to go a little deeper. Just enjoy the stretch. I want you to feel challenged here, but not like it's impossible. Another deep breath. And as you exhale this time, walk the hands back in toward the legs. Use your hands, gently bring those knees toward one another, bending through the feet about hips distance, hands behind for support. And all I want you to do here is flex your feet, take them the width of the mat. So you may want to turn facing front ways on the mat. And then when you're ready, just gently windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Now, if by chance, I know I mentioned spring is a time of transition. So if you're noticing on this particular move that the hips are a little extra stiff, congratulations, you're a human being. That means you might have a lot going on in life. And so when we move gently through the body in the movement, and then we also breathe with a gentle loving kindness and acceptance for what is, the body will be likely more apt to open up rather than to resist. So just a few more here. Keep your heart space broad. I'm actually squeezing my shoulder blades together slightly. Again, just notice. Any changes in the hips from when we first started? Allow yourself to hover in any regions. I'm letting my inner knees, my inner thighs come all the way down, even if it feels like it's not possible. Just be gentle with yourself in the movement. Go ahead, really nice. Now extend your legs long. When you're ready, spread the flesh far from the sit bones. And as you extend your legs long, you could always use props here. You could use blocks on the outsides of the legs. I like to frame my shins, if you will. Now flex the feet. So I went from here, if you see my feet, I went from relaxed to flexing. Now root your heels in, root the backs of the knees, your sit bones sitting up nice and tall, pressing the heels of the hands and palms down into the mat or toward. Lift the heart, keep your feet active, and just breathe. Dandasana. Good. Now, if this is enough of a stretch, you'll stay right here. Stay active in the feet and legs. Otherwise, inhale, lift through the crown. Exhale, just walk the hands out. You can walk them out onto blocks, onto your shins, or even onto the mat toward the outside of the legs. Personally, I like to place my hands to the mat. And now I spread my fingers, root down, just like I continue to root down through the heels, and pull the mat toward me. Heart is going to reach toward the toes. Toes are equally reaching toward the heart. Breathe into the stretch. Good. Slowly walk those hands back up toward the body. As you exhale, point your toes. Good. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. Keep the belly drawing in. Keep the spine tall. And flex. One more round, friends. Inhale, point. Exhale, flex. Good. Bring your legs around and meet me in a nice, strong table posture. So as you come into table, spread your fingers, spread your toes wide, grip the mat with all 10 fingertips, and then just find a nice neutral stance with the legs, with the hands pressing in, even the tops of the feet rooting into the mat. Good. Now, as you inhale, pull the mat toward you with the palms, pull the heart through your biceps, arch your spine. Come right into a nice cow shape. Good. As you exhale, round your spine, chin to chest, press the mat away, stretch the back body in cat. Good. Inhale, come back to stretching the front body, arch your spine, send the sit bone high. Exhale, round. Soften your lips here, breathing in and out of the nose. Start to move to the rhythm of your breath. So you're going to go through a few rounds of these. You might move at a different pace than my cue. That is okay. Breathing through the sensations, accepting the sensations of tightness, stiffness, resistance, almost like greeting it, welcoming it to the party inside. Go ahead and give me one more inhale. Let's meet here in cow pose. Pull the heart through, nice long throat, and then exhale, round through cat. Really nice. Back to neutral. And then from here, I'm gonna ask you to bring your knees to touch, big toes to touch. And now sit back onto the heels and walk your hands out forward. We're just gonna come right into a nice child's pose with the arms extended. Palms here are gonna be shoulder distance. Keep your hands where they are, spread your fingers. Inhale, come up through table. As you exhale, spread the knees hips distance and then pull those hips toward the wrists into cobra. Arch the back, stretch the front. As you exhale, keep the legs where they are now, press it back into the heels. Third eye will come to the mat, back to child's pose. And then inhale, come back into cobra. Good, full inhale in cobra. As you exhale, come back to your child's pose. So we're going to go through a few more of these. Inhaling in cobra, exhaling in child's pose. And I want you to take your time. I want you to honor your body. If there's a spot that you want to stay for a round of that breath, please do so. Just make sure you're feeling the stretch. And make sure you're breathing full, deep, full body inhalations and deep exhalations. Breathe into your hips. Breathe into the shoulders. Good. And then when you get back to your next child's pose, go ahead and stay there. And bringing your knees and big toes back to center. Make adjustments to your base, arms extended, pressing the mat away. Taking your sit bones toward or to the heels. Feel the stretch through the upper body. On your next inhale, walk your hands over to the right. Stack your left palm if that's accessible. Third eye comes back to the mat. As you press the mat away, breathe into your shoulders, breathe into the left side body. It's getting a nice stretch there. Continue to draw the belly in, walk those hands across the center. As you come into the left side body stretch, that right hand likely will stack over the left. Press them out away. You'll stretch through the underarm, through the lats, through the right side waist. Good. Come back to center. Let's inhale, come back into table pose. And this time, tuck your toes. Inhale, sit bones nice and high. Exhale, lower the heels to down dog. Good. Now, start to walk your dog here. Bending one knee, sending the opposite heel to the mat. Now you're moving to the rhythm of your breath. So it's noteworthy if you're moving faster than, say, you usually do, or than you did last time. And like I said, make a note of it. Not a judgment. Walk your hands back to the feet. We're going to come right into that forward fold. Take ragdoll arms if it's appropriate. If not, keep your blocks nearby. You can rest the hands on the blocks or opposite hand to opposite elbow, gazing between the knees here, swaying side to side, enjoying the stretch through the back body. If you're noticing any lingering tension, tell that region of the body on your exhale, let's let go. And then release your hands, bend through your knees, and then just place hands to thighs, slowly coming all the way up. Good. Eventually your head and neck will come back to stack, soften. My eyes are still closed. Just inhale, shrug your shoulders. Exhale, roll them back. But just notice your posture here. Hip points are going to reach up toward the ribs. Engage your glutes. Just continue on with those shoulder circles. Inhale, shrug. Exhale, release. Inhale, shrugging. Exhale, lowering down. So just a few more. And as you continue to just notice your breath, start to bend the elbows. Get the elbows circling with the shoulders. Maybe think of taking those elbows wide from the body on the inhale, back and down on the exhale, soft through your hands. Good. Now relax through the shoulders. And we were creating those circles, but leave the shoulders out of it, just the elbows now. Good. I'm a little close to my wall. I'm going to step up from it. You don't need to hit walls during yoga class. Good. Now arms straight, same circles, but let's circle with the hands. So up and back, arms rather straight here. No need to lock them out. You might notice one shoulder has different sensation or experiences than the other. Good. Relax the shoulders down. And now let's just do the wrists. Breathing. You might make fists at some point of the rotation, a loose fist. Just snap, crackle, pop through the fingers, through the knuckles, through the wrists. Good. Let's change directions of the wrists. So same idea. I'm still bending, making light fists through the movement and the rotation of my wrists. Good. Now let's go back to the elbows. So elbows coming the opposite direction. It's going to be a thought process for me to keep my shoulders relaxed, just the elbows. Shoulders are working, but consciously. Now let's add in those shoulders. So now we're going to relax the arms and just work the shoulders. Good. Just notice how that feels. Notice if the breath has changed. One direction might be more notable than the other, as in you're working harder, right? You're thinking harder. And that's when the breath leaves us. So that's where we concentrate the most. Wonderful. Soft through the knees, feet about hip distance, spaghetti noodle arms, just twisting side to side. Breathe. Feel this through the outer hip. Again, I like to close the eyes or gaze downward toward the center of my nose. I don't want you getting dizzy. Good, really nice. As you come back to center, you can use a wall for support here. We're going to work the left leg first. So the wall to your right, or chair if you want support, or hands can just stay on the hips. It's going to come into some circles with the left foot. So just like we did with our wrist, I'm going to do the same thing now with the left foot. So this could be a great balance challenge. Think of keeping your hip stacked over the right knee, over the right ankle, rather than shifting the weight on one side. That'll keep your stabilizers working. Change direction. So again, we're just moving the foot. You might even bend the toes. Just notice how that feels. And we're working the right leg by just placing all our weight. Now let's move up to the knee. So I'm going to bend at the knee, send the heel back. Now just draw some circles with the knee. Excuse me, draw some circles with the heel. Your knee is stable. Good. Now change directions. Again, some of this is you have to think. You're going to feel that outer hip, outer glute working. I'm keeping my left foot flexed. If you need to rest the right leg at any time, do so. Send the prana there. Good. Relax. Shake it out for a moment. When you're ready, join me. We're going to now come into hip circles. So think of circling the knee. We're going to go both directions. So whatever way you start, that's fine by me. Really feel the abdominals working. Don't forget your posture. Don't forget the breath. Don't forget to draw your navel in and up. Change directions. I don't know about y'all, but my right leg is letting me know it's there. It's working. Can you imagine that cup of water on your head that you're balancing? Really nice. Relax. Shake that right leg out. Good news, we're going to the other side. The right leg is not going to be weight bearing at all. Ready for that left leg to base. Good. Hands to chair, to a sturdy housemate, or to the hip. When you're ready, we're going to start with the ankle. Go ahead and rotate. Stand up tall, stand up proud, but keep your shoulders soft. Keep your expectations null. And then change directions, breathing into the toes, breathing into the ankle, into the foot. Remember, we're doing the best we can. Feeling limited on one side, guess what? That's okay. Like I said earlier, congratulations, you're a human being. Good. Need a rest, take it. Otherwise, bend at the knee, flex your foot, start to draw circles with your heel. Now we know the knee doesn't go. It's a hinge, right? So it only goes forward and back, but this is just accessing some muscles in our upper leg glute in a different region. By keeping the foot flexed, we're working the lower extremity and the upper of the leg, changing directions if you haven't already. So you'll notice one side is coming naturally, the other side is more concentration. So that means, what do we need to remember? Our breath, in through the nose, out through the nose. Relax, gently shake out the left leg. We're almost there. When you feel ready, join me. We're getting into the upper portion. So circling the right knee. Or for a rule of thumb, I like to create an inhale as my knee comes up and an exhale as I create the lower portion of that circle. Left leg, hello. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Those of you joining us on demand, Hola. Whatever your favorite way of saying hello is, letting us know we're there. Change directions. We are on the home stretch. Now, as we get tired, we may start to hunch over. So make sure, and I'm actually demoing how not to fall. Good, working those abdominals and relax. Never thought you'd make it? Yes, you did. Shake it out. Really nicely done. Low body is officially awake, especially if you're like me. Now, coming into our garland posture. So yoga squat, get a block if you'd like, because you could place it right underneath your sit bones. You could also use a chair in a wide squat or think sumo squat. So palms at heart center, feeling tall. As you exhale, just sit low. So my knees are coming out. But if you're on your mat, your balls of the feet, the toes are off, ankles at about 45 degrees. So you're here. You're going to connect your elbows to the inner thighs if that works. If that does not work, remember you're sitting on a chair, you're sitting on your yoga block. Breathe into the hips. You're encouraging the outer legs toward the wall behind you. Another breath. Good. Now, as you exhale, hands under the shoulders, sit bones come high, toes facing forward. My feet are actually wider than my mat at the moment. And I'm just going to let my head hang heavy and then just sway my entire body side to side. We're just waking up very gently today. The upper body, the low body, just telling the hips to soften, to let go. Good. Now, bring those heels back onto the mat. We're coming back to Malasana or garland pose. On an exhale, lower those sit bones down, palms to heart center, and those elbows encouraging the inner thighs to open, to soften. Deep, soft breath here. When you're ready, palms come down, hips come up, toes straight. Once again, my feet are wider than the mat. And then just swaying side to side. Nice soft here. If it's in your practice, take the unnatural grip for ragdoll. Yes, our arms are wider, our feet are wider. And just swaying any parts of the body that feel the need for opening, the need for releasing. And then when you're ready, hands can come to the mat or blocks, toe heel to feet back together. Just like we did earlier. Nice bend in the knees, hands to the thighs, and slowly, keyword slowly, come all the way up. Feel the vertebrae stacking one on top of the other. Really nicely done. A little more balancing, and then we will get back to the last part of our sequences. So once again, we're going to be on the right leg. So if you have a wall to your right or a chair, you may want to head that direction. We're just going to come into a figure 4 here, and we're going to take our left ankle, cross it above the right knee, flex your foot, keep it flexed, use that wall or palms to heart center. Go ahead and sit into Utkatasana variation. Now, if you have a chair nearby and you'd prefer to sit on a chair, do so. Now, as you do this, take your hip points, reach them up to the ribs. I want you to create space in that low back. Good. Take another breath here. Now, option, peace fingers are going to go around the big toe, send the leg out straight or hands to the knee, maybe hand on that chair or wall, and bring it out to the side. Good. So just like we were in Malasana, press the outer part of the leg back. But when I say press, gently, of course. Encourage, knee comes up. Good. Release that leg down. Other side. So go over to the other side if you're using a wall or any type of support as we prepare. I'm going to demo without support, standing on the left leg, cross the right ankle above the left knee, as always, flexed here. Palms to heart center or on props, slowly sitting into Utkatasana variation. Now, as you find your edge, and that's where you're really feeling the stretch, you've gone as deep as you can, hip points are reaching up to the ribs to keep that low back spacious. This is where you make the call, right hand to knee or around the big toe. Inhale, extend it out. So notice how you're feeling one side versus another. Maybe there's room to soften. And then as you exhale, release the leg. Right foot meets the left. Shake out that left leg. Really nicely done. We have one more balancing posture back to the right leg. So we're going to stand on the right leg and right hand again to wall, just a quad stretch. So left hand is going to take hold of the left ankle, and you're just going to bend and catch at the ankle or the foot, and then draw your knees together. Good. Now, if you're not using the wall, hand can be right to the hip here. If you want to go deeper, right hand can actually reach behind and find the foot. So both hands to one foot for some of us. Now you're kicking into that left hand. Lift your heart. Feel the stretch as you squeeze those inner thighs together and as you kick into that hand. Beautiful. And as you exhale through the nose, very gently release your foot and shake it out. Good. Shake out that right side, even shaking out that left side. It might look like you're on hot coals, right? Just shake it out. Dance, dance, dance. Might be the only fun time we dance today. I like dancing. All right, let's come over to the other side and stepping onto that left foot. Use your props as needed. You've heard me say it before. When you feel ready, catch hold of that right foot. Nice and easy on an inhale. Squeeze those legs together. Left hand to the wall, to the hip, or reach around. Now, if you're straining to get both hands to the foot, remember that, friends, that's not what we want to have happen here. We want to really lift the heart, lift the chin, like you're gazing to the sun. Breathing into the stretch, kick into the hands. And as you find your next exhale, release the grip, release the leg, shake it out. Last chance, dance on hot coals. And then come back to the front and center of your mat. We're going to do a cleansing vinyasa here. So with ease, inhale, circle the arms up, reach nice and high. As you exhale, friends, bow to the legs, forward fold here. Bend your knees as needed. Inhale, Ardha, halfway extend. Good. Exhale, plant your palms. Gently find your plank pose. Now, when you get into high plank, I want you to engage your glutes, draw your belly in, feel the core working. You can lower the knees here. Otherwise, exhaling through chaturanga, right into up dog or cobra. As you exhale, find your down dog. Good. Now on your inhale, right heel is going to reach high. Exhale, step it through Anjaneyasana, low lunge. So left knee is going to come down. Right knee is going to stack right above that heel. Good. Nice and easy here. Take your hip points, reach them up toward your ribs. So just a tilt, slight tilt of the pelvic region, right hand to hip. Hug that elbow in and back. Left hand reaches. Good. Now take your left thumb, reach it to the wall behind you. Keep your pelvis tilted. And now reach for the back right corner of your mat. So we're not going far here, but really notice how you're pressing not only through the front foot, but through the top of the back shin, your shoe if you're wearing one, or the top of your foot. Chin up, breathe. Good. Exhale, come back to center. And now let's take that same hand down next to the right foot. Press the mat away. Come out of your shoulder girdle and then reach that right hand up to the sky. Your option here to tuck left toes, send your heel back or not, and then just revolve. So reaching for that wall meeting the ceiling behind you. Good. Exhale, come back around, lower the knee down, and then right hand to the outside of the right foot. You could also use blocks here to prop and frame that right foot. Inhale, flex your foot. As you exhale, root through your right heel, and now just drag your right sit bone back, making the right leg straight or near straight. And we're going to stretch that hamstring out. Good. Nice, long, calm breath here. Breathe in through the nose, out through the nose. You'll notice the back leg. You're still firmly pressing through the top of the left foot. Good. Exhale, bend into the knee. We're going to do that one more time. So as you inhale, flex your right foot, and exhale, drag that sit bone back. My head, my heart, stay reaching forward. Should be able to Balance a water bottle between your shoulder blades. Foot is active on the right side. Good. Bend back into the knee and frame the right foot. Tuck your toes. Just step it back into down dog. Good. Take a few breaths here. Paddle your dog. One heel, then the other. Opposite knee bending. Get those hips engaged. So sending the hips in the direction of your straight leg. You'll notice how this distributes the weight from palm to palm, from foot to foot. Good. Now, when you're ready, we're going to do the other side. Inhale, left heel reaches high. Exhale, step it through. Right knee comes down on Janayasana on that second side. Set yourself up here. Once you feel sturdy, hug your left hip back. Send that right hip forward. Press through the top of the right shin and foot. And now take your hip points, reach them up to the ribs. Do you feel that stretch in the right hip flexor? That's what we want. Hand can stay on the quad or the hip. Reach that right hand high. Good. Now, when you feel sturdy, take the thumb, reach it back, breathing. Now, you'll know if this is deep enough, stay here. Otherwise, gently added motion of reaching for the back left corner of your mat. Hip points reaching up. You're going to feel this getting into the psoas. Such an important, deep, deep, deep muscle to stretch. Soften your face, breathing. Good, come back to center. And now, right hand will come down next to the front foot. Press out of the mat, lift the left fingertips skyward. You stay right here or tuck your toes. Send the right heel back. This is all a matter of preference. And then you'll revolve, you'll reach, broaden your heart space. From right palm to left fingertips are stretching apart. Good. Now, as you exhale, right knee is going to come back down. Left hand will come down. Frame your left foot. Good. Remember, you can have your hands on blocks as well. Inhale, flex your left foot. Grow roots through the heel. And now just exhale. Gentle movement back. I'm pressing through the top of my right foot, the shin. You'll see that my gaze is forward. You'll see that my left foot stays flexed. If you need a break, you'll slightly bend the knee or relax the foot. And then when you're ready for the stretch again, join us in doing both of those actions. Good. Inhale, bend deeply into the left knee like you're lunging forward. And we're going to go one more time. On your next breath, inhale, flex. Exhale, send the left sit bone back. And for those that want to go a little deeper in, hinge at your hip, root through the heel, and find length, not only in the breath, but in that hamstring. Good. Exhale, back to the lunge, framing the left foot, tuck your right toes, step it back to down dog. Good, really nice. As you find your next exhale, bend through the knees, and then start to circle the hips. As you breathe into the sacrum, as you breathe into the groins, as you breathe into the hips, front, the sides, the back of the core, all working together here. Change directions if you haven't already. Good. And then coming back to table, palms stacked under the shoulders, fingers spread wide, press through the toenails, knees, hips distance. When you feel ready, your drishti is going to go about 12 inches in front of the mat to a spot on the ground. And then reach your right hand forward, thumb facing the sky. And then exhale it back down. And then inhale left side, thumb facing up. Good. Exhale it down. And again, inhale right hand, exhale, place it down, and left side. Good. Now we're going to add the opposite foot. So inhale right hand, left foot extends back. Good. Exhale the limbs down. Inhale, left hand, right heel reaches back. Good. Exhale it down. A few more of these. Find the variation that works for you. Really important. You just test your balance here. We're working on core strength. We're working on mobility of the shoulders, and we're strengthening our glutes. So as you send a heel back, engage that glute by squeezing it. All while the Ujjayi breath is focusing, helping us to focus, centering and guiding. Good, just a few more. Continue to press out of the shoulder girdle on the grounded palm. Continue to send your sit bones back, reach through the crown of the head. So I actually feel that lengthening through the throat, through the back of my neck. And we have 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Good. Exhale, come back into child's pose. Big toes to touch, knees to touch. This time drawing the elbows back toward the body, and let the tops of your hands rest on the mat, palms facing the sky right next to the ankles. Third eye is on the mat or a block. Shoulders want to be right up next to the ears, so just go ahead and release them down and away. Just taking a few breaths here. Good, when you're ready, gently pressing up, bring your legs around as we revisit our supine posture or on the back. One of the reasons I continuously come back to yoga and my mat. It's this moment when the teacher says, find your supine posture. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and inhale the right leg, across it over the left leg just once. And then you're gonna draw your knees closer to the heart. Take your right hand to the left shin or ankle, and then take your left hand to the right shin or ankle. So opposite hand, opposite leg. And then gently relax your shoulders away from your ears and gently encourage the feet toward the body. You're gonna feel a lovely stretch in the outer right glutes and hip. Now tell your parts of the body or the mind that's resistant, just soften. Inhale into those parts filled with tension. And just sigh out anything resisting you. Good. And as you exhale, unravel the legs and then cross the left leg over the right. Once again, just once. Once you get the cross of the legs, inhale, bring the legs in. Take opposite hand to opposite ankle or shin or foot, wherever is comfortable for you. Now, wherever there's resistance, channel your prana into those regions or that region. Notice if you're clenching your jaw because the hips are tight. So soften into that. In times of transition, in times of shuffling of circumstances, often when beyond our control, along with that, the body holds on to the tension in the form of stiffness or tightness or resistance. This is why we come to our mat to just balance out the what is. Good. As you exhale, release the ravel of the legs and go ahead and take your feet the width of the mat. So pinky toe, side of the foot along the outer edges. As you exhale, just hug your knees to the midline. You'll get a nice stretch in the outer thighs, outer hips. Really hugging those inner thighs, knees together. Good. Exhale, release, and then toe heel the feet to meet in the center of the mat. And then let your knees drift apart down toward the mat. You can support your outer legs with blocks underneath the outer thighs. One hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. We'll stay here for a minute or two, before coming into our final relaxation, Shavasana. So please feel free if you need any other postures for your practice today. Honor your body, taking the time now to do those. The rise of the chest on the inhale, the hollowing of the belly on the exhale. This breath, this moment, I invite you to slow the prana down even more. And as we take our final Ujjayi breaths together, inhale the knees together, use the hands to support. As you exhale, hug the knees into the chest, bring the nose to the knees on the inhale, holding at the top of your breath. Another sip of air in. And with a deep sigh, relaxing the limbs long, releasing your natural breath. And as you return to the natural breath, the lips often separate. Coming into our final relaxation, Shavasana. Thich Nhat Hanh says, most people are afraid of suffering. But suffering is a kind of mud to help the lotus flower of happiness grow. There can be no lotus flower without the mud. And right where you are, take a longer inhalation, a deeper exhalation. Another deep inhale. And an exhale. As you take your next breath in, reach your arms overhead. And as you exhale, one final hug of the knees. And when you're ready, rolling to one side, just take a moment on your side to just come to a moment of gratitude for this moment, this breath. And when you feel ready, gently pressing up to seated. And bringing the palms to heart center. Slight bow of the head. I hope you feel centered, restored, and a little looser than when we started. As always, my friends, thanks for letting me guide your practice. Have a great rest of your weekend, week, and into the weekend. And keep that nice chill vibe flowing. Take good care. Aloha and namaste. Thanks, my friends. See you again next week.